Hello everyone, welcome back to another live stream here on the Twitch.tv/Xisuma. It is absolutely baking here in the UK today. I am a cake. I have been baked. If you can hear background noises, I have both the fan and the AC on, and I'm still feeling pretty toasty. What a warm day it is. What a warm day it is. But hey, we're going to do something super interesting today. We're going to try an attempt to build a happy Ghast farm, which sounds like madness, but no, we can do this. Also, where are the happy Ghasts? Where are the? I mean, there's one. Is there two? Let's go find out. There's two. There's two. I did some cleanup last time, right? I did some cleanup. Did you catch the last stream? I don't know. The Can of Heaven, Ender Void Wolf, Sad Noble Storm, Dashmax, Teolaton, Tobolost Wanderer, Veiled Equilence, Dominique, Forgil, Matty, 5957, and Jazz Marine. Welcome. Oh, Mary, not Marine. Jeez, I've changed your name. Welcome to the stream. Hey, look, we've got a saddled one, so that's not going to get murdered. And then these ones are a ways away from the original place, so I think we did a good job for Pearl, but maybe for the rest of the server. Oh, do you know what? I've had such a busy day. I haven't had time to set my account AFK at the Ghast farm to get more tiers. Depending on how much we get done today, we may want a bunch more of these dried Ghasts. There might even be some still around this area that haven't hatched. Let's see if we spot any as I drift around here. Two-Hand Phoenix says, "Oh my god, this looks amazing." Do you mean the Ghasts? Is that what looks amazing? My happy Ghast does need a home and a garage. That is true. That is still another project for us to do. Interesting, because I feel like I should have done Skiz's Pyramid of Needs already, and I've just been pulled in another direction for a little while. I do not see any of the dried Ghasts that I plopped down in this area. I think Scar has been on and has moved them or killed them. I also know that a bunch got delivered to his base back here, and it looks like he didn't keep them. Wow. Yo, Guardian zapping me? What's going on here? There's a Guardian in the tree. That's just a Scar thing, I guess, isn't it? The Ghast just floating around everywhere in others' bases. That's just great. It's cool, isn't it? It was a real nice visual spectacle for us to unleash upon the server. Dante Red, I thank you for your 66 months, my dude. Much appreciated. We've got Azzy Iliand Shard here. A new subscriber. Welcome aboard. Thank you for supporting what we do here on the Twitch. And we got I Am Modesty with the Prime for 24 months. Thank you so much, my dude. As always, peeps, your support is tremendously appreciated. Allow me to do this as my job, you know, streaming for y'all, which I love doing. I very nearly didn't stream today though, because it's just so hot. But I am forever just doing stuff, right? And I had to drive around to get stuff done today, and the AC in my car it's not working. I'm like driving around in a little hot box, getting even sweatier. I'm like, this is unbearable. I thought I was going to cool down when I get in the car. Now I'm heating up. All right, we got some more of these over here. I feel like we didn't really put enough in Joel's base. We put them around Joel's base. Maybe I'll have to put a few more over here at some point. Or maybe our days doing that are done. I got something very cool to show you. That is a happy Ghast farm that I want to build on Hermitcraft. So we're just starting off with a little bit of a check. I'm seeing how some of these fellas are doing. Driving in a whatnot, says Callie. A hot box. You know, like a sauna. A furnace car, yeah. How hot is over there? It's like 30, but today it's just felt hotter than 30 for some reason. You know, these ones over here, they seem to be like attached to the city. They almost stay within the city walls. Look, they go out a little bit, they go back in. Didn't ya? Didn't ya? Oh, you've got to make me look silly now. No, you're going back in. Okay, thank you. Maybe Impulse touched some of his own, I'm not sure. Mayschool says XB hotboxing confirmed. No drugs were involved, Mayschool. No drugs. It was a hotbox, but no drugs were involved. Just you know, just glass and sun. Just sun on my glass. Or almost sounds like a metaphor for something, but it's really not. It's really not, people. I was in a car, there was no AC, it was disgusting. I was sweaty, I regret everything. I have to go show you the farm in a little bit, but before we do, we're going to prep to build it. Okay, so I need to get more spectral arrows back. Golden arrows, whatever you want to call them, you know. It's what the kids call it these days, says Mayschool. I think they still call it hotboxing. But who knows? You're on vacation in Milan with your family and it was almost 36 here, peak heat. Wow, that's cooking. That's absolutely cooking. That's just like sweat, nothing but sweat. Right, we're going to need redstone, right, to build this thing. Do we have the observers? We do. I need those in each of the contraptions, as well as droppers and hoppers. We're relatively well stocked. Probably low on repeaters. I'm trying to remember what else this contraption uses. It does use powered rails. In fact, there's a part of this contraption that I'm yet to build that I'm going to need your help with later today, chat. 4Gil 96, thank you so much for 63 months. Almost a stack, almost a stack. Eduzar says, should you build a happy ghast farm though? With how many you already released? Yes, I should, because this is a special type of happy ghast farm. It's one that lets you decide. You get to decide when you want to use it. Right, I guess we're making repeaters. And rails, yeah. Don't forget the rails. Don't forget the rails. Forgil asks Mace, what did they think about X's prank on releasing so many happy ghasts? Did the server suffer? We didn't have the plugins installed to see, so there was no visible tick lag, but we didn't have plugins installed to see what was going on with the performance, because those hadn't been updated to 1.21.6, and now we've got 1.21.7. It never ends. It's like they're never going to stop updating the game or something. Okay, redstone torch, repeater. Very nice. He wasn't available. Well, there you go. There's an answer. I wasn't even around. Have I seen the teaser Minecraft posted date? I have not. Do I need to go do research after this stream? I got a few things I need to do after the stream now. And now I've got to add Minecraft teaser to the list. Something related to copper. Well, given that copper, some would say it's still a little awkward to farm it. Maybe it'll be related to that. Probably not. Probably not. You say copper, I think a copper farm. It's because I'm traumatized by it. Do we need sticks for powered rails? Yo, Tanny Glace. Another name. So familiar around here. Thank you for 71 months. I appreciate you coming back and subscribing again. Hope you're up for some fun making redstone contraptions and stuff. Flora, thank you for the nice message. I appreciate that. It's a kind thing to say. We got our pearls in there. We don't need them in here. Just cleaning up the inventory a little bit. Do I have like a? I don't have like a junk or project shulker box. We're going to need one of those. I'm going to need a lot of glass. I kind of realised. Somewhere around here. Yeah, look at this. I got loads of glass. That's good. Yeah, so 5 stacks of glass will do. Probably need more. I don't know. We'll see how many modules we can make, right? Because these are going to be made in modules. Now, we also need to go pick a place to build this thing. And I'm going to show you where I got in mind. Also, let's drink some water. On a day like this, you've got to keep drinking. Alright, False has still got a Ghast. That's good to see. That's good. Didn't Scar log on? I might go query Scar about the lack of Ghasts in his area. Is it me or is Cub in this area as well? Possibly flying? No, there. I've just managed to... Oh. I wonder if he's using the locator bar. Cub, are you using the locator bar?
Xisuma.
Hi.
Hey, do you know what this is, X?
I do, yes.
Is it something that's done? Is it a working thing, or is it a concept that never came about?
Yeah, there's a clue as to what it is. This little face popping up and down. It's a mini game Ren was going to make.
Ren's shooting gallery.
That's literally what it is, yeah. You got to shoot Ren, I think.
Okay. Okay.
But it never got finished.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I see.
Were you using the locator bar a second ago?
No, I was just flying around here. I'm looking for a spot to put a game.
Okay, because I was like, I saw you and started flying towards you, and then it kind of felt like you might have been doing the same thing. But you know,
yeah, I was just flying back and forth, like surveying the landscape, seeing where a good flat spot is.
Yeah, you see a face, and then like you investigate now with this little hot bar. But this is Ren's. I don't know if he wants to finish this project or not, so he might hand over the land to you.
I might ask him because this is actually a pretty good spot.
Does your new game involve Ghasts?
Yes.
Of course it does. I'm going to build a happy Ghast farm that's going to park happy Ghasts in minecarts for people.
That would be very useful, actually.
Yeah. So I'm over here looking for a location to build that as well as it goes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, so you'll be able to make use of it. By the sounds of it.
Very good.
There's one over there that's free, look.
There's one over there. Yeah, there's a couple of them just flying around. There was one in a tree. I don't know if it's still over here. It got caught in a tree.
Oh, dude, it got stuck? That's funny.
Let's see, I think it was down here. Yeah, it got stuck somewhere. I don't know what happened to it, but...
It's freed itself.
It was stuck. It must have.
Could be that guy up there, he got free.
Could be.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool, well I'm going to be around, so feel free to say hello if you see me about. I'm going to try and find a space too.
Okay, yeah, we'll do.
Cool, see you around, Cub.
Cheers, X.
In that night, it's always nice to bump into other hermits. Now it's easier because we've got the face bar. You just like investigate. Yeah, so Cub Scout. You know what? Like this free cam mod, I feel like I should maybe uninstall it sometimes. Like, yeah, this is the way to do it. Fly around, get immersed, play dodgeball. What? We could take up a bit of space here. But I think ultimately the farm I'm going to build is something you want unloaded. You would probably load it when you want to farm the Ghasts. So I actually think deeper out the back here makes more sense. I don't think we're building something to be like a part of the gaming district. But then if it were close, you would use the minecart rails to bring the Ghasts over here for minigames. And we know the server can handle having a lot of them about. But I am going to need a fair bit of space. I think this spot over here might be a good spot. Because there's not too much space on that side of the path anymore for new games. So if I put something in this area here, then that's okay. But it's going to need, like, it's potentially going to need a lot of space to store the Ghasts too. So maybe I should just build it on this side over here. Then I'm not close to anything. I think that's going to be the spot. Do y'all... Okay, question for you, chat. do y'all have like this same sort of, let's not call it anxiety, but that feels like an approximate word. This sort of like indecision, umming and ahhing, feeling like it's hard to just pick a place to put something sometimes. Do y'all get a little bit of that? You know, you start like, you can't just be like, I'll put it here. You just start looking around and weighing it all up. Way too often, says Forgirl. I feel like it's way too often for me, yeah. More than I'd like. Who doesn't, says Callie. Well, I'm kind of thinking, does the game bring that out of us? The game lets you make a lot of decisions. I feel like, you know, if you're playing a platform or something, you make a lot of decisions, jump here, jump there, but you never feel like, yeah, I don't know. I need to maybe think about like what other games give me that similar sense of like consequence to the decision. Because you got to remember, maybe a building game would, like you're building a city. You know, city skylines. You're trying to pick, oh, what road layout do I want? What do I want to do here? And then you start thinking way further ahead. Like, will I leave myself space for this thing or that thing? Here's another thought. I kind of like the idea of filling in this space here and then putting the bit where we park the fully grown ghasts right here. So we'd fill in this space and we would build the actual ghast thing back here, and this would just be like a ghast pickup station area. I think that could work. There's a temptation to scale this thing to be really big, but I actually think it could be relatively small, and that would be fine. Satisfactory and No Man's Sky have that feeling as well, says Welk. Satisfactory, yes. No Man's Sky, I never got into it enough to do building. I imagine, yeah, it totally would, right, if it's got building in it. Vinot, 26 months. Thank you for unintentionally being there for me in the form of stream/distraction during some harsh times. Sorry to hear that, my dude. I hope you get through them, and thank you for the continued support. We also got Ordained Dread 14, 75 months. Woo! Big numbers coming in. Big numbers coming in today. Thank you for the amazing support, peeps. Fill in that space, please. It's been bugging me for months. Coney, I can do that. So we will claim this space here today, and we will do it with a sign. I now feel like I should always have a sign on me. I also just want to look around, see one, and steal it. I want there to be a sign that no one is using, you know? They're like, it's just not being... Oh, that's decorative. You didn't think I was going to pinch it, did you? No, there won't be one. We need to make one. Let's grab this. And make a sign. Wood chest is the one. I suppose it's the grass is always greener on the other side situation. A lot of what ifs about the positioning of things. Kinda, yeah. Like sometimes you think the other decision is better, but for me, it's a little bit more of like trying to think forward of how something plays out, and you're not sure. If you build it in one spot and then later on you're like, I didn't foresee this thing. I wish I'd have built it over here. But it's kind of true of all those different locations that I'm looking at. It's a lot of oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if I don't have enough space? What if I put it too close to other stuff? I feel like putting it central to this thing makes sense. There's a bit of space here, and I like the idea of just having a bunch of happy ghasts sat that you can come and look at. So we're going to take this area. Claimed by Xisuma. Claimed by Xisuma. I'm going to make it really clear with one more sign. Claimed by Xisuma. Oh, whoopsie. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Absolute claimage. Oh my goodness me. No one can dispute it. So before we bring a bucket of dirt blocks back over here to fill in the space, I'm going to go see if we can find Scar and just find out what he did with the Ghast in his area. I would have loved to have seen Scar's reaction to the hatching of the Ghastlings. Tango's reaction was amazing, though. Absolutely amazing. To be fair, you could pick any hermit and it'd been great to have them there. That's just our brains being annoying and thinking there is something better, says Mirror Canary. And it's annoying in the context of a video game, whereas, like, it's probably very useful and necessary in the context of survival, right? By the way, I don't see a Scarface around here, which... Scarface. Which means that he could have a happy Ghast face on, or he could be in another dimension. Where is Scar's? Isn't Scar's portal super dangerous? Maybe I don't want to take that. Where else is there another portal around here? Where's Mumbo's? I don't know. I don't know where anyone's nether portal is. Maybe B-Dubs? I feel like I've been through B-Dubs' portal and come out somewhere, maybe? Is it in there? Does he have one in there? I think he's got one in that building. He's always wearing a hat. Yeah, so Scar is a hard man to track down. Do I have any advice on how to get through a tough time? Well, every tough time is unique, and all of them have different lengths and durations to them, right? Like, sometimes a tough time is you're going through something that's like, it's with you all the time. And other times, it may be something that passes in a day or whatnot. I think the one thing you can't do in life is you can't magic it away, right? There's no like, just do these 3 clever little tricks and away go your tough times. So you have to learn to deal with hard times. You have to learn to find the tools that help you get through, and that's many different things for many different people. But I think it's important to realize that you can't really distract yourself from such a thing. You can, but like, you're only distracting, you're not dealing. And you know, when you learn to accept the realities of these tough things and take responsibility for them, and you know, I don't know specifically what it is you're going through, but when you learn to like carry the burden, I guess, of it, as opposed to try and get away from it, and you actually deal with these things, you know, you will over life, I guess, learn more about those kind of things and how to get through them. It might all sound a little duh, obviously, but I spent a lot of time in my life trying to get away from things that I found tough and didn't understand, and it wasn't until I started to develop the tools to cope with those things and to get through them and figure them out that, you know, you grow and you get stronger, and that the tough times become a little less tough. Mescal says, I was about to say drugs, dirty dancing, and pounding techno music, but that would not be good advice. It's just lyrics of a song. Well, in a ways, that's like something that we do, right? Like, that's distraction. That's a lot of what young people do. You're at that age where you're growing up and new types of problems and big things in your life are happening, and it's all like fresh and new to you, and it's hard to deal with, and we all deal with it in different ways. Escapism's useful, but is always temporary. Yeah. See, that's why I can't tell you, you know, distract yourself with music or go do this thing or go do that thing. It's like, ultimately, the tough times, they got to be dealt with. So, until you learn the tools to deal with them, they're going to continue to be tough. Nature, healthy food, and good sleep. Yeah, so we're talking about baseline needs there, little spag bowl. Another thing about tough times is sometimes what's tough can be in our head. And taking care of the simple things and reminding yourself of their importance and the privileged position we're in to, you know, live in this time and age and have access to the things we do. Sometimes all you need is a perspective change, right? And focus on the simple stuff. Distractions can be useful, but as time passes, something that stings hard can seem less terrible over time, but you can't forget that you must eventually deal with the tough times, says Goth Pilot. Exactly, yeah. That's why I think when you learn to deal with the stuff sooner than later, you know, you just do better for yourself. Distractions are better used to give your brain a bit of rest in between, but not every moment of the day. Yeah, they have their place. They have the time and the place. If you need rest. Oh, I'm out. I'm out already. Where did I put it? Over here. You never know how much you're going to need. Like, I didn't really, like, sit back and think or estimate. When I picked up that shulker box, I sort of thought in the back of my head, we're not going to need a full shulker box. And I probably would have made a fool of myself if I decided to take in like 6 stacks. Because now you come over here and you can be like, actually, if I'd have thought about it for a second, this is like, what? 16 blocks by maybe another 16. That's plenty of stacks that we need. Yo! It's one of those moments, and I have a horrible feeling. But surely not, that we might have missed a name here. So we're going to have to take a moment and enter the dungeon, because a person whose name I've butchered so many times in so many different ways, so I will just butcher it once again. Let me get this up on my screen. No, wait, I just took it away. Dang it. Not Night in Row, whose name I don't know how to say. Thank you for 100 months. Haven't been around much. Flood at the house, work, etc. Dang. Life's been crazy for the last 10 months. Hope you've been doing good. Thanks for being a constant. Thank you for the lovely message. I'm sorry to hear that you've had flooding. That is an absolute hassle. But you should now be a part of the 100 club. I just have this weird feeling of like, did I catch your name at 99 and get it in the animation? I'm getting a little hydration break here as well. God, I need to drink lots of water today. Right, let's see if you're down here. So many of you. It's crazy. So many legendary names. Some rocking out, some boogieing down, some working out, some trying, whatever that is, you're not getting it. Ah, dude, we didn't get it. We didn't. I had a feeling. I'll make sure you're in there for next time. I got to make another note on my notepad, right? I've got it down. You'll be in the next one, my dude. Thank you so much. Chaotic 1988 here for 3 months of the Prime. Listening to your stream while I'm editing photos for a photo shoot I did last week. Always nice to catch a stream. Awesome, my dude. Thank you for the support. Thanks for using the Prime. Peeps, if you got a Prime and you want to use it, you're more than welcome to. Also gets you access to our Discord server and Patreon server, which I'm hoping we're going to do a tour video on tomorrow. But I am a bit touch and go with stuff at the moment. As you may have noticed, I'm streaming much later than usual today. It's just been one of those days. I didn't want to wake up. Everybody sucked. Some of you know what I'm referencing. I'll end it there. I'll end it there. I'll end it there. Yo, I went to a concert yesterday. And chatting with a friend, reminding us of crazy tales from back in the day, I noticed that there's something that doesn't happen at festivals much anymore. Coney Live says I pack a chainsaw. Brilliant. Brilliant. Oh man, sorry to hear that, X. Glad you did manage to get up in the end though. What's that? Sorry to hear what? Crowd surfing, says May School. No, crowd surfing is still well and alive. Was it fun? No, but like when you're young it probably is. Hey X, have you seen anything on the Stop Killing Games initiative? I've seen some clickbaity thumbnails that have just made me not want to watch them. Yeah, the algorithm, because I've pivoted away from watching the type of content I've been watching for a long time. The algorithm hasn't caught up yet, and so it's still just recommending me stuff I don't want to watch. So I saw something about Stop Killing Games, and I was just like, oh, it's these drama channels again, you know, always spinning up stories, always telling you their opinions. I'm just like, do I need to know? I'm not sure I do. I'm not sure I do. So there's something that happens, or happened more back in the day when I used to go to festivals, right? People, they used to throw bottles, okay? And when I say like throw bottles, I'm talking about like a lot of bottles. At one of my first ever festivals that I went to, we went to see this band called Throwdown. Okay, they were throwing things down. That's what they do. They were throwing it over here. They were throwing it over there. They're always downwards, never up. They're not called throw up. Okay. So anyway, if you've been in crowds and you've seen mosh pits, you know how like pockets of the crowd can open up. Well, between bands playing at Download Festival back in the day, what people used to do was throw bottles, you know, trash that had been dropped on the ground. They would throw it back and forth, and it would get pretty crazy. You know, you used to like have to stay alert before a band came on. You used to look over your shoulder, and then someone might go heads up, and like a bottle would just fly in, and you'd, you know, dodge it or whatever. That's something that's gone away. I'm not sure when it went away, but having had a 6-year break from going to a Download Festival, I came back and I can't remember any bottle throwing at all when I was there, and I didn't miss it. I didn't, you know, notice it because it's not particularly a great thing. You're not standing there waiting to see a band thinking like, oh, I missed that feeling of something about to slam into the side of my head, you know. So like, of course I'm not going to notice it's not there. But there was a teeny bit of it yesterday, and me and my mate were talking about some ungodly sights that we had seen back in the day and how like that stuff doesn't seem to happen anymore. 8 Rover says, I watched some snippets of the crowds at Korn at Woodstock 99. Absolute insanity. I started watching the documentary on Netflix about it. I heard some stuff that made me think it was like not worth watching, but now I've gone and watched it. I'm like, oh my god, they have access to so much footage that I wasn't even aware of. Like, they've shined like a very interesting light on the festival, and seeing that crowd before Korn just will always give me goosebumps. That might literally just be the most insane crowd and band thing, energy, synergy, I don't know what you're gonna call it, ever. It was just ludicrous how much people moved and how much movement there was. Is that why they added the new plastic cap that doesn't fully twist off to decrease aerodynamics, says Coney Lives? Possibly, yeah, possibly. You only started going to concerts in 2022, and it's never been something you've seen nowadays, as if, you're the person I want to hear more from. Anyone out there who's been to festivals, let me know what it is like now, or if you saw it back in the day, because I got videos of it in my little collection of videos that I have taken over the years. So when Throwdown came to play, there was like a mosh pit opening because people were throwing so many bottles that it like opened up the crowd. People had to get away. It was becoming dangerous. This is how crazy it got. And I remember throwing a bottle in myself and like following it and watching it, and it like ping 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 up in the air, back down, ping ping ping, boom boom boom. Oh, then it hit the ground. Like, it was in the air for like 30 seconds or something. It was just so crazy. And one of these bottle fights, it kind of like, I remember in 07 it broke out on a hill, like not in the usual place where you had bottle fights, and then people started using like wheelie bins to try and like fight up and down the hill and claim it. And as I say all this out loud, it was like at the time it was like a bit of a laugh, and now you look back at it and it's kind of like this feels like something kids do, you know, but like it's adults doing it, or you know, maybe like teenagers and young adults. Yeah. For a long time, they didn't give caps on bottles anymore. They've done it in Belgium since Police Message in a Bottle happened. That's the song from like the 80s, right? The Police. So how, Mayschool, what happened exactly? Have I posted my concert clips online? No, they're just my little private collection of pictures and stuff. Sounds like an average British secondary school. Yeah. Yeah, it's that kind of behavior, right? Juvenile behavior, if you like. So yeah, we were discussing how like we haven't seen this anymore, but are you ready for this story to go to another level of horrendousness? Most people are still children on the inside, so once they get to the chance, they will take it. True. We always have like childish impulses, right? I just say, when you're that age, when you're young, you're just so much more impressionable. You tend to just go along with what's going on around you. And there's certain ways you can organize crowds of people that will incentivize or decentivize certain types of behavior. And I think if you make it so it's harder to throw bottles, people stop throwing bottles, and then, you know, no one's actually doing that anymore. So, like, the problem sort of goes away, and it probably influences other crowd behavior as well. I think there's often been a spirit of like looking after one another in the crowd, especially in the mosh pits, but it feels like it's stronger than ever. I used to go into some mosh pits back in the day where it was very, very rough, and I don't feel like you see that attitude at all anymore. It's like pretty much every band you go and see, the attitude is like, if someone goes down, pick them up, which is good. Which is a good thing. Way too many bottles were thrown during the concert in the 90s. Yeah, Mayschool, what's the link to the song, though? Like you said, since Police a Message in a Bottle. Just imagine trying to enjoy the concert and being afraid the whole time the bottle is going to get thrown into your face, says Shalama. Well, that is how it was back in the day, right? Like, download 06, 07, 08, 09, 10. Like, before... I can't remember when it started to fade out, but before the bands go on, you would literally, like, you and your mates would be on full alert looking around because bottles would just come in and like they would hit someone on the face. My mate was telling me when we were watching this one band that someone had brought in a 2-liter bottle of Coke and like dropped it, and so someone else thought it'd be a good idea to throw it, and he was saying that it like smacked him in the side of the neck and completely messed his neck up. And like, this is what people can do in crowds, right? Like, the worst of our behavior can come out. It's like a crowd psychology thing. And so people think it'll be a laugh to, like, throw this giant bottle of Coke, and then, you know, it ends up really hurting someone, which is not funny, but this is what we do. A K-pop concert in WDC got shut down early because the venue was charging $12 a bottle of water and you couldn't bring in your own. People were fainting and the staff were ignoring it. That is awful. That's kind of like what happened at Woodstock, right? That's should never be allowed. You should always be able to bring water. Anyway, chat, I asked you, were you ready for this to go to the next level of disgusting? But like, I didn't see a lot of enthusiasm for disgust, which disgusts me, and it's, you know, it's severely hindered my enthusiasm for telling you this story, to be honest. There you go, I managed to make it ironic. Aren't words fun? Yes! You said you was ready. Drew, dude, that is true. One person in chat was like, I am ready! And I read that message and I was like, ready for what? Because I have the memory of a goldfish. Disgust me, says Chaotic. You'll get disgusted. Okay, so y'all understand the dynamics of throwing bottles, okay, in crowds. And I'm going to assume... Well, actually, before I tell you this disgusting element of the story, like, can we do a poll? Like, how many of you are festival goers, or have at least experienced a couple of festivals? Like, you're accustomed with it, let's say. It would be interesting to know, because I you know, if it's like 10%, I'm like, y'all are gonna hate this. If it's like most of you are gone, then some of you are gonna like figure out what's coming next. Some of you have already figured it out. I'll tell you what, I'll let the poll up. I won't keep you waiting. If the mods want to do the poll, that's awesome. So another dynamic of being in a crowd and having bottles of water is that you drink the bottles of water, okay? Right? You drink the water. Now, what happens on a hot day in a crowd of people when you're a long, long walk away from any facilities? People that mostly blokes. Let's be frank, it's 99% blokes are gonna pee in the bottle. And what do they do with the bottle? They throw it. Now, also cups. Like, it used to be paper cups as well as the bottles. So this is like there is a lot of bad stuff about festivals, okay? And it's still, despite all of this, you go because the experience of watching the band and being there live with them is incredible. It's so incredible that you'll put up with stuff like this. Fortunately, these days you don't have to put up with this. You kids today don't know how good you got it. Okay? Right? People will pee in the cups, they will pee in the bottles, and they will throw them. And this is why me and my mates used to stand around before the band come on with a deep sense of vigilance and watching out for one another. Because we'd be like, heads up, dodge, and you know, whoa, dodge that one. And unfortunately, every now and then, what would hit you would be wet, and it would be warm, and then you would give it the sniff check, and you'd be like, oh no, that's pee. Yes. This is something that I had forgotten about, where I'd gone back to recent download concerts, because as you can imagine, you don't go there. You're not like, where's the wee? Why? What's happening? I came here to get a bottle of wee thrown at me. No. Of course you're not. I completely forgot about it. I forgot how bad it used to be. Okay, now, this story gets worse in multiple ways, chat. It gets so much worse. So stay with me here. It'll get worse. And it'll make you uncomfortable. So plenty of times over the years, and this is when you're camping for like 3 days without a shower. You know, you had to survive on baby wipes at the end of the day. Just wipe yourself down and do the best you can. You know, you're watching a band and you'll get sprayed with some wee every now and then. It's awful. Every now and then, I don't think this ever really happened to me, but I know people that happen to. Like, sometimes you catch the full cup or the full bottle. You know, you're not just getting splashed, it's like you're getting soaked. And it is just foul behavior. Again, crowds can bring out the worst in us, right? You really regret eating your lunch during this. Heart Gamer, it's gonna get so much worse because okay, I'll go straight to full disgust and then we'll step it back a little bit. Full disgust, I have a memory of this happening, but I don't remember the particulars because it's quite foggy and a long time ago. But at Sonosphere, back in like 2010, there was a bottle fight before the band started between the two sides of the barriers. So one of the things they did at festivals, it used to be like, here's the stage, right? And everyone's just in front of it. Then they introduced the barrier down the middle, which helps prevent the crush. And the walls of death as well. And these days you'll quite likely see configurations like this, except I ran out of dirt blocks. So, let me get some more dirt. Actually, I don't need any more dirt. And there goes Cup Fan. So you would have the stage here, you would have the split down the middle, and then they added split here as well. And sometimes I've even seen them extend it back here now. So they break up the crowd into smaller sections. But back at Sonosphere, it was just these ones here. And you had the crowd on the left fighting with the crowd on the right, through the means of throwing bottles at one another. Yo, Darkermans 99, thank you for 52 months with the Prime. Much appreciated, my dude. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support. So, Sonosphere, 2010, bottle fight, either side. I'm like somewhere around here, I seem to remember, like watching it. I've like backed off, and me and my mate are watching it. And I swear, I think this is how it went down, but we saw a bag of dark stuff get slung. And as it went into the other side, it like ripped apart, and you just saw this brown sludge. And like, I don't know if it was or it wasn't, but I remember the story is that we saw that happen. We saw poo get thrown through the air somehow. And like, that is a level, like all this foul behavior, that's a level you didn't expect. Cookie Baker says, I'm a huge fan. Oh, perfect timing. You love the stories about the poop slinging. I know. That's what I do here. Yeah, so that was the thing that I saw. Now, to dial down the disgust a little bit, my friend that I was with, in fact, I was with him when it happened, all of a sudden, just like, what's that? Like, feels something on their leg. We turn around, the guy behind him is just peeing on the back of his legs. Unbelievable. I'm not sure if I was actually there or not. It's really weird, like, you get older and all these stories that you know that you and your mates tell each other, it's almost like you feel like you're a part of them. I'm not actually sure if I was there or not, because I felt like I would have done something about that, whereas I have no memory of like what happens next. So maybe I wasn't actually there, but that happened to my mate. That definitely happened to my mate. I'm really not sure if I was there or not. It's so weird. It's like I've got an image of it in my mind, but I'm not sure if that's just because I've been in like a lot of gigs and you can kind of put that imagery together. Mace School, you've also seen it happen way too often. Yeah, so people did that back in the day, right? This behavior, I think, has like gone away a lot. Cookie Baker says you're my favorite Minecraft user. Of course I am, talking about weeing on the back of people's legs. Typical Minecrafter. Oh. It's Winther, thank you so much for the Prime, and Prison Mike. That's like The Office, right? Oh my god, is that an Office reference? I love it if it is. Thank you for the Prime, my dude. Appreciate you using that on me. Appreciate it ever so much. Some of that might be drug induced, says Goth Pilot. When we say drug, people are drinking. That's why their bladders are filling up. People are drinking, their bladders are getting full up, do we say inhibitions are being lowered? I think that's the phrasing, right? Like, your decision making, your moral compass, it's all getting messed with. And for me, back in the early days, I was still drunk. But these days, being sober, it makes it much easier not to partake in that kind of behavior. Long-time viewer, first-time stream enjoyer, and it is an Office reference. Awesome, I love it. Prison Mike, I want to go watch that episode now. Yo, I'm making a note. Like, whenever something reminds me of The Office, I feel like I have to go watch the episode it reminds me of. That show brings me so much joy. I will catch up later on the yucks, says Becca. And you will love it, won't you? Oh. Filthy festival goer. Going to festivals does make you filthy. The day out that I had yesterday watching the Deftones and Weezer, by the way, Weezer, oh my god, what a band. Like, I just spent the last few weeks binging their set list and starting to get to grips with these songs and be like, I really like this band, they're cool. And then seeing them live and just realizing, oh my god, these guys are awesome. These guys are just awesome. Geezer, says Blooming. What'd you say, Geezer? Weezer, mate. You know, give me that inhaler because I'm a Weezer. Right? Mason says Weezer is great. Yeah, and seeing them live, like, they just like brought this fantastic energy to their show. Like, it was upbeat, it was happy, it was really friendly and fun, and they were like just smiley guys playing their cute nerdy songs, and they were playing them so well. They sounded so good, and like when he does his little guitar solos, they're not the most complicated thing ever, but they just sounded so good. Like, I think part of that might have just been like the sound engineering for the event was just really good quality. Like whoever the sound team for Weezer are probably did a fantastic job. And like if you know a bit about how music works, you know that like a good team behind the band, getting them sounding right for a live show goes a heck of a long way. So there could have been an element of that, you know, just having the right people around them to help them be their best. But I was so impressed with them. It was such a good show. And I went there to see the Deftones. I passed up on Weezer. Like, Weezer was really quite popular when I was young. Most of my mates were into them, and I was just like, yeah, I'm a metalhead, you know, just being a dingus. Just being a dingus dongus, making silly decisions. Oh, Weezer aren't cool, whatever. Like, all these years later, I'm like, oh yeah, I decided I didn't like that band, therefore, take that, former ex. You're an idiot. I'm going to listen to him now. Unfortunately, Deftones were not that great. They were struggling with illness. They had to miss their Glastonbury show, and it's been, you know, I can't really remember too many shows where you could hear a band like struggle as much as they did. Like their songs would sort of come out of sync a little bit with one another. They would get the timings wrong, the tempos would change. They kind of got there in the end. They got it together, and like the back half of their set sounded a lot better, but early on they were struggling a bit, and that's unfortunate, you know, if they're sick and whatever. But you know, being ill affects how you play and stuff, right? I'm also playing Minecraft right now, and it's automatically better because I'm watching a stream next to it, said Shralama. Oh, cue the distraction waffle. Cue the split attention waffle. No, I'm not going to do it today. I'm not going to do it. Hey, I appreciate you saying that, though. That's cool. They've been not cool forever, hence their reference to being bullied in Buddy Holly. Yeah, I know the whole vibe is kind of like, yeah, that kind of like bullied, nerdy, outcasty, geeky thing, but like, I like that. Like, I don't like that people get outcasted, if that makes sense. So when something is outcasty, air quotes, like, it tends to be a vibe I like, because it's like, this is you sort of being yourself despite that, which is cool. It's cool. I don't like the whole, like, you know, conformie, be this way because that's how everyone else is. Not my vibe. Right, I'm gonna show you some Hermitcraft secrets in a moment. All right, we're gonna go on the Hermitcraft creative server, but I'm gonna go turn off my AC and I'm gonna switch to standing, and I'm gonna drink some water as well. These are all things that we should be doing. All right, if you're sitting down, stand up. All right, I don't care. Don't care what your excuse is. Stand up. And if you got your AC on, turn it off. What? Why is X telling me to turn off my AC? I don't know. Don't know why. Buddy Holly was on the Windows 95 install CD. Wow. I never got Windows 95. I had 3.11 and then I got Millennium Edition or 98. Sturger says, what if I'm already standing? Stand up more! Right, what if I'm laying down? Then you can stand up. Then you can stand up. It's 42 degrees, you're not turning off the AC. Fair enough, fair enough. What if I have no legs, says SM Delay? Excuses. Oh, got no legs. Jeez, get on with it, mate. Right, okay, I'm gonna go turn it off. See, I care about the environment. That's why I only have it on for a little bit. Only a little bit. I'm only messing around. Yo, so we're in a spot where I don't think I'm really spoiling anything around here. So I'm not exactly going to put much attention on what's around us, but anyway. This is my little contraption, by the way. What we don't have figured out is a Ghast containment area. Which is something I've got to figure out today. But if I build this little contraption, right, I can put a dried Ghast in here. It's set up so that I can like walk under it and place one. This will then detect 5 stages of growth. Okay. The observer powers this. When that thing's full, we create a signal to send out a minecart. It's full because the Ghast has grown up. So the Ghast will be, or sorry, should I say a Ghastling will go up, get pushed across, and put into a minecart. The minecart drops down below, and then we've got to manage looking after them, right? I also made this, which I was really happy with. Like that is so very, very cool, right? Ghastavator. Can you tell me what's wrong with my Ghastavator though? And why it made me cry after I finished building it? See if anyone in chat's got the brain smarts to figure it out. Right, I'm gonna need... I need something here. It's not Darth Vader, says Blooming. It is not Darth Vader, but that's not why. They can drown, they can't drown. It doesn't work when you're on them. Spooky Dokie, you got it, right? So like, I did this testing, I was like, oh, this is great. I can't wait to build this. Wait, what? Why is it not working? Why is it, what's wrong with my redstone? Wait, it's working again. Oh, what's going on here? You know? Huh. Maybe I just made a mistake. Right, yeah, no, oh, definitely. Wait, what's going on with my redstone? It's gone! What? That's what I went through. I went through all of that. Right, so what we want to do is have basically a 1, 2, 3, 4 by 4 space for a Ghast to occupy. The thing with that is the minecart's probably going to end up on the center of a block, and then we're going to need like 2 blocks clearance either side. So we're going to end up with like a 5 by 5 little space for it to sit in. Now the thing is, how do we get this thing to like sit here, not go away, so that someone can take it? So like, we should definitely be using a block here of some sort. If I do this... Like, you can imagine something comes over the hill and parks itself there. Now, am I looking at this the wrong way? I think I might be looking at this the wrong way. It'll probably take me a minute because I haven't had too much time to think through my ideas. I'm sort of thinking of an old animal breeding cell design where I used to do this. So I think it's a case of... yeah, something like that works. So if that one there's on... right, like if you power this, it gets pushed over, lands there and stays there until you power it, and then it pushes it over. So you could have one sitting here, one sitting there, power them both, and they go over. The thing that we want to do is probably push our first Ghast all the way to the end of the line so it sits in something like this. But then it's going to need to tell the one behind it not to do that. And now that I think about it, I think I'm going to build this stuff out of glass, by the way, just because of collision boxes and whatnot. So say we do that. Now it's going to fall into that space. And that could then maybe send a signal to the one behind when it's got something in it. Yeah, not too sure. Dock has a gas storage on top of the nether. Maybe have a look at that for an idea. That is a terrific idea. That is a terrific idea. I can't remember why I didn't think of that, because it's crossed my mind a couple of times. Maybe there was a reason that I thought it wouldn't work or something. I don't know. Maybe I just thought I'll go check it out and forgot. Who knows? Is that the one that throws them off the minecart rail square with it on? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I do this sometimes. I fly all the way across the map to my portal. So I could just use a different portal. Let's see, let's see. Isn't it this way? Oh, that's interesting. That does kind of look like you're going to hold one here. So the next one comes along. It's also got this extra bit of stuff going on at the end here. Do you know what I can do? I can do that. That's the only time it's got like this observer with note block on. Maybe that's like an extra for the player to mess with. Yeah, not actually sure what the purpose of that is, but if we can figure out the logic of this thing, it should be fine. So here you can see that they're using a fence gate to separate them. And it's actually on the halfway point. Although that one's got one inside of it. Either way, it seems to be that you get the thing to sit on a downwards line with this thing to block it. So that stops it, this thing detects it and locks the one behind it. That's actually, I think that's it right there. It's just a free block thing. And if the Ghast is sitting there, it's got half, 1 block, 1.5 maybe. 3 blocks? Aren't Ghasts 4x4? Maybe the idea is that they can just sit in one another. We also want to make it so that the player can take a Ghast out of here, I think is an important thing. So let's say this button let you take one out. That thing moves off. Do all the next ones behind it then shuffle along? I guess because that's empty. That probably would mean they shuffle along, right? I think we may have just understood this contraption by looking at it. And the only extra thing is this note block here. Is there redstone? There's redstone. There isn't a lamp. So I guess that one's permanently off until you tell it otherwise. I think I understand how it works just by looking at it. Weird. Who would have thought such a thing could happen? Right, we'll use that. And see if we can make a mock-up of it, right? Let's see if we can steal Doc's technology. Steal his science. I think I'll also... Yeah, I'll build this back here. I just want to build it off the ground a little bit as well. I think it's a good idea to do that a lot of the time. It looks to me like this is the general layout. And then we'll put those blocks of glass here at the front. Is that right? That's wrong. And I'm going to drink some water, because you know what? I'm just feeling really dehydrated. Two hills is what we're building. A happy Ghast chamber. That is what we're building. Something to store happy Ghasts, basically. You not understanding redstone is painful. You should learn redstone. Challenge yourself. It's worth learning. I'm also noticing something interesting here, which is that these redstone torches will be controlled by redstone pointing into them, but that won't backpass onto the next piece of redstone because the block is being powered by redstone. If I power it with a repeater, it would do otherwise. So then It also doesn't touch it. No, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter here. That doesn't matter. Now, this is the one we had to do slightly differently. So these are going to have fence gates next to them. This is a really cool contraption. They're going to be open to let each one through. And then we'll put in the rails after. But the one here is going to be like this. But we're going to have a repeater here. Now, I think there might be a slight element that's missing. Maybe it was just a piece of redstone on top of it. And it's also the wrong way around, so well done me. Something like that. So you press that, you open the gate, but there's nothing going on here. I think we've actually sussed it out. Redstone is fun. I love puzzles, says Blooming. I feel the same way. You're still looking forward to someone mixing regular ghasts in with the happy ones. I don't think that will happen here because it's just a regular happy ghast farm. Oh yeah, I think I want to make that a redstone block, so that's how that gets powered. Can you place dried ghast with a dispenser? You cannot. Otherwise, this thing could be way more automated. Still requires some player input, but that's not a problem. Right, it doesn't look like you need to do anything particularly special with the rails either, because they connect without any funkiness, which is nice. So if we presume that that's the input right there, we've already got a couple of these in minecarts. Okay, put in the rails. The redstone looks different. I don't think it is. I think it's pretty much the same as what Doc's got. Unless there's like some hidden little thing under some of the blocks that's important. That kind of looks like it. 8 Brover says, sad times. That would have been fully awesome. Fully automated self-renewing would be cool. Yeah, it would have, but I can kind of understand why they didn't make it so you can place the block with it. Plus, block placing through dispensers, I don't think that's very common, is it? Can't think of an example off the top of my head, but it's like a technology that people have asked for that I don't think should be in the game, maybe. Like, I see why people ask for it because it seems obvious, but I reckon one day they might add it though, because eventually they gave us the crafter, right? Like, I don't think it made sense to add automating crafting to the game, but then the years go by and it kind of actually gave the game a bit of freshness. So some things maybe just let the years go on by and there might be a good time to do it at some point. Okay, we'll get all of these up here. See if we give this guy a nudge. So far, so good. He looks happy riding it as well. Then you're in! You're in! Oh my god, let's go. This is it. This is it. What happened to you, buddy? Just need a little nudge. Need a little nudge? Maybe I'll just break these rails. Come on, get going. I love the smiles. Boobily boobily boob. Well, like that. Nice. Let's make another one. Now you get to see the magic of this contraption. Because you haven't seen the magic of this contraption yet, have you? What happened there? Okay, tick. Sprint. 5, 1, 2. Let's go 5,000. That's probably more than enough. You think dispensers should be able to use shovel axes hose? Like I said, maybe one day. I don't think they do. I don't think out of the box, but like as time goes on, maybe. Oh, maybe I did 50,000 last time. I forget. If we pop on in though, we'll see that it's slowly changing hydration. Oh look, that little face changed. Its face reminds me of Ren sometimes. The dispenser can scrape wax if it has an axe node. That's true. That's true. They added it for the dispenser. Of Ren, why? Well, because of the nature of Ren's skin, I guess. There's just some similarities. That's why. Why does the happy Ghast remind me of the regular Ghast, you know? Did it finish the second one? It did. Let me show you the redstone back here, right? So it's done 2 stages. Then it will have another stage, third one. Actually, sorry, it had done 1 stage. I placed it, it's now done 2 more stages. It will do a 3rd stage, and then it will hatch. So that's all 5 steps. Place, free growth, and hatch. Then it'll be ready for me to place another one in there. What's cool about that is this might be a bad thing for me to do, but if I AFK'd like overnight, just holding down right click on the dispenser, like, you know, one hatches and you immediately put the next one in, I think that might break the redstone. I think it needs a cooldown time. My intention is to scale this up so you build a bunch of them. But, as I'm trying to say here, that might be a way to just have a, like, continuous AFK holding down right click kind of farm with it. Let's sprint again. Oh, it went. Now, it stopped in the exact place we want it to stop, right? The minecart looks like it's in about the same place, which is good. I think the hitbox of the Ghast is not interacting with that fence gate. I had assumed that's what it had done, but also thought that maybe the timing there wouldn't work. I think it's the minecart that interacts with it, so that thing is positioned in the correct spot. Let's go ahead, let's actually go put another one in here. So now you can see we're back to default state and we're ready to give it a go again. Let's go and put that up to like 25,000 and maybe we'll see the one over here grow. I feel like that one wants to go down here, and because it can't, it's forever attempting to get there, but not. Interesting. Yo, we got a noise in the air, except there are no noises in the air anymore. Smartin 1018, 110 bumps. Love the most recent episode. So fun to see the hermits enjoying each other's company and the shenanigans. I'm glad you enjoyed it, my dude. Love to hear that. That's awesome. Thank you for the amazing support. Does the sprint affect the rest of Hermitcraft, or is it just you thing? We're not on Hermitcraft, we're on the creative server. And the sprint effect affects the entire server, because it affects the whole game. You might have noticed I'm in creative mode. I mean, that should have been a giveaway. Not actually on Hermitcraft, if I'm in creative, right? If I wasn't a YouTuber, what my dream job bit would be? There's different answers I could give you. I'm just going to say it would be to be a musician. But that wouldn't be true either, because I wouldn't want to do music as a job. I just want to do music all day. Right, I think that's it. I think we kind of built what we needed to build. Maybe if there's one other thing to consider, it's probably doing this. And then having it so that the rail below... I guess what we probably need is a junction. This is stuff we can probably figure out on the server without much of an issue, right? Something like that, just to send it and let other things join as well. I don't know how close these are going to be to each other, but let's say the next one started here. In fact, let's set up a couple. Just so we can see the logic of it. We want them all to go in the same direction, so it's like... Yeah, I think I see what to do now. Except you want that one to go that way. Yeah, that'll do it, won't it? So very, very simple logic to get the rails of these things over to that thing. Right, let's go to Hermitcraft, start building it, I think. Flowering Flames, your first time catching me live. Well, glad to have you with us, my dude. You missed the talk about throwing bottles of pee and flinging poo. Now you're probably wondering, what the heck was that conversation? What the heck was that conversation? Because we were talking about good times, weren't we? In theory? Jeez. Such a crazy conversation. Yeah, there was loads of crazy stuff I saw back in the festival days that I used to go to, and watching this Woodstock documentary is just like reminding me of how much crazy there used to be. Ah, we got the memory leak. I think I'm going to need to reboot the client for that one. We got a memory leak, which the next update will patch. So about 40% of you don't go to festivals, 35, 1 or 2, 13 less than 10, 9% of you are diehards for festivals. Awesome. Becca says Woodstock 99. I saw that. The documentary or the festival? I like absolutely adored those shows, because when I was a kid, like growing up hearing about this Woodstock and downloading like the videos of the concerts off of Napster, like all I saw was the performances, and like they blew my mind. Like I couldn't believe how many people Korn were playing in front of. And then like over time you'd learn more and more about like what went down there and how crazy it was. What do I think of this year's Glastonbury? Personally, I didn't think the set list was that good. I don't know, I hadn't really paid much attention to it. I love getting out there and seeing live music though. Like I'd love to go Glastonbury, but it's not really one I'd go by myself, and like my mates aren't into that stuff, but if they were, I'd definitely go. For me, it's like I go see the live music that I'm really, really into, because I'll have those like incredible moments. But then the less I'm into the music, then my next thing is like a social reason to go, like to go with friends and stuff. So I would, I would probably go to a fair, like, I reckon I'd stretch myself a fair ways to go to something that I'm not particularly that into. If it means you can hang out with friends and stuff, which is a cool reason to go. Why am I taking these signs down? I guess because I'm going to build something here now. It's like, now it'll be obvious, but maybe not. Okay. We're going to build this thing like left to right, I think. So we're just going to have like a facade at the front here to come and get your Ghast from. Oh, I missed out on a little test that we needed to do. Actually, well, no, we do need to do this test, but I think it's going to work because I understood the redstone and this looked like a pretty robust design, right? But when we press this button, we get 1. And then they all shuffle along by 1. In a nice little chain as well. Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. Anyway, back to Hermitcraft. Just wanted to check that. Bro, literally, how'd you get iron blocks, beacons like that? I don't know. An hour for me or something. Make the iron block bacon. Yo, Mama, what are we talking about? When did we last see a beacon around here? I mean, look, there's putting time into this game to get stuff done, and then there's being smart about how you play. Like, if you want full iron blocks for your beacon, you can go caving. You can go caving for iron. Look, there's some right there. Or maybe you invest into building an iron farm, and then you've got infinite iron. As long as you AFK. Put in that time to make sure it's running. Varmint, Xisuma, I got an important topic. Do you know about the stop killing video games and what they do? I don't. All I have seen is clickbaity thumbnails from the types of content I don't want to watch anymore, which is like drama channels. And so my immediate impression, based on very little information, is more drama. But hey, feel free to enlighten me. You know, sometimes some of these topics maybe are big deals worth talking about, but when they come from the people that just constantly cycle drama, it's just a put off for me. So they've always every you know, every day there's always something new to talk about in the drama community. They'll always find something to spoon feed you an opinion about. I'm waiting for the enlightenment, by the way. Enlighten me with your being. Oh my god, this is going to be a long message, isn't it? Silence is killing me. What material should we make our fence gates out of? We've got lots of bamboo here, we'll do that. Well, Stop Killing Games is basically about stopping companies from selling you a game that requires their online servers and then having them shut down said game 5 to 10 years without making a single player offline playable version. Ah, okay. Sounds pretty reasonable, doesn't it? Yeah, so in the changing landscape of video games, you have a lot of these, what do they call it, DRM, is it? Direct rights management. Like, it's a thing to, on one hand, combat privacy, but on the other hand, it's also quite conveniently gets people locked into like an ecosystem. You know, it's easier to pay a subscription for a game if it's a DRM game, right? So yeah, I understand that. It ties into a lot of like video game preservation as well. Varmint, I'm not the sort of person to like, you know, spread awareness, and I also feel like the act of spreading awareness and like online, they call it slacktivism. I feel like online is like quite a bad place to actually do stuff like that. It just feels like it's an easy thing to talk about and people will listen, but it leads to very little action. That's not just a hunch, that's something I recall had been researched at one point. Someone looked into like, what is the relationship to what's this? It's in relation to, dude, I totally lost my train of thought. Basically, someone studied, you know, like, what's all this online activism actually doing? And they found that a lot, this is where the term slacktivism comes from, I think, is it turns out that, like, making a bit of noise online and talking about stuff doesn't lead to a lot of actual action, is the idea. So, like, I never really do anything where it's like, I'm acting like I'm some sort of activist or something and spreading the word, because online isn't really the place to make change like that, I don't think. Right, I'm going to use iron blocks alongside this glass, since I'm not sure what else to use. And I think we just go ahead and start building it. I need that picture back, actually. This will be the exit end here, I guess. So let's go get that one note block and one observer. Okay, that would be about here, I believe. Yeah, I know what you mean. Just trying to find people who might be willing to support this cause. Imagine if Microsoft would make Minecraft only online, and then it shuts down the server game in 20 years, says Armint LP. Yeah, I mean, like, we can all agree that doesn't sound good. But you want to find people that have like the energy and enthusiasm to like get out in the real world, make connections, talk to people, you have to talk to like legislators and stuff for this kind of stuff. But it's the kind of thing that needs that like real time and energy. I'm just a guy streaming, and I can talk about it, I can make you aware of it, but that's going to lead to very little actual action. Okay. But yeah, so like there's a lot of video game preservation these days. People are trying to preserve the history of video games. Things become broken over time, you know, like games that worked on old computers and old operating systems and different hardware then become unplayable at some point. And one of the things that's close to is where you have games that are built to be dependent on online infrastructure, and then that infrastructure gets cut. And it's happened a bunch of times. It's not good, I don't like it, but I also don't feel passionate enough to invest a ton of my time into it. Barmint says, that is what some of our people do. We're more at the stage of getting people to know about this, and that a petition is going on to get it into the EU Parliament. Well, I tell you what, Varmint, you know, bring it back round. When you got that partition set up and ready to go, and, you know, you've got maybe a place to point people at, a doctrine or whatever it is. Doctrine might not be the right word, but, you know, something a bit concrete. Maybe there already is. Like, this is just the very first I'm hearing about it, but I could look it up, take a little bit of my time, have a read, and if it sounds like something that is a good cause, I'd probably be happy to pass it on to people here and say, hey, you care about video games? This is probably a good thing. Go read it yourself. Got a feeling I might be doing this wrong now, but let's double check. If we look at it from this side here, yeah, I think I'm doing it right. I think I got it right. That looks good. Okay then, that's good. The petition has several thousand, 100,000 signatures. Wait, so we're already got the petition? I thought you were about to do the petition. I'm more of a gamer trying to reach out and do my little part, haha. If you want, I can put a Discord link here if you or anyone wants to look into this. Sure, I'd say go for it. Sounds like a pretty reasonable thing. And like I said, I'm all into like video game preservation and stopping these kind of games disappearing because, you know, some server gets shut down. I think that's a really bad thing. But, you know, I encourage people to, you know, read for themselves and find out the details of what this is. Got 1 month left for the end of the petition, I see. I'm one of those very few people who still plays a game called Tribes Vengeance. Yo, is that Tribes the Timothy Stephen Clark did the soundtrack for? The company who created went bankrupt a long time ago, so the server got shut down. The only reason people can still play it is because a few people still have their own servers running in their basements. Wow. Yeah, there are old games like that. I remember playing StarCraft again a while ago, like years ago now, actually, with Ren, and having to like, I think BattleNet was actually still up, but most people played on a different service after that. And you know, like you had a little hack client thing, and then you could connect to a different bunch of servers or something. But like all community driven, you know, people trying to preserve the history and stuff, and let people still play together again. AC/DC or Metallica? Metallica hands down, all the way. 100%. Easy answer. What's funny about AC/DC is when I was growing up and I was listening to AC/DC's Back in Black, Like, they weren't a big deal. Like, they were like a forgotten acts or something. It's kind of weird to describe, but like, you didn't really hear their music anywhere. And it wasn't until Guitar Hero, I think, came along that they sort of got like massively revived. And then just sort of became a juggernaut again, which they always deserve to be. They're always fantastic, but yeah, it's funny how that works. They just weren't. Never saw them anywhere. Never saw AC/DC t-shirts. Never saw them or heard them on the radio or anything. They were always just like this weird little old bands that made this really great album, and I loved that album, but like that was the end of it, you know. Never saw it anywhere. And then Guitar Hero comes along, and dang, AC/DC are huge. Now everyone talks about them. You think that maybe it's that all their songs sound the same, so they get stuck in the cultural consciousness? I don't think it's related to their songs sounding the same. And I don't think that all their songs do sound the same. I think that's a bit of a redundant statement, because you can just say that about any band, right? Because bands have an aesthetic. I don't think there's a lot of bands that, like, every time you hear one of the songs, you don't know who's playing, right? Like, bands have an identity. It's what they do. I think it was just one of those things where some bands just, you know, you have your moment and then the world moves on. Okay, this doesn't work, does it? This doesn't work. Bad idea. Yeah, the you know, like, you have your moment in the sun and then you move on, but like, if you don't capture the interest of young people, you sort of become an old act just appealing to the same generation. And I think Guitar Hero like reintroduced them to young people, because when I was listening to AC/DC, you had MTV and they weren't being played on MTV. I just found them through VH1, which was like what the old people watched. Like, MTV was current and VH1 was like the past. And some of you are like, MTV, VH1, 96T, what is this, X? What are you talking about? It's called television, people. And my voice is going a bit here. I know it sounds weird to force a company to keep a game alive, but it's not that we want the companies to keep their servers running, but to make enough changes so the games can be hosted elsewhere on other people if they want to keep playing, says Varmint. I don't know the ins and outs of what you're asking for particularly, but like, here's how I feel about it. I'm gonna have to cough for a second. We have this thing where we have shareholders in a company. People buy stocks in a company, they have an investment in it. This could be a great system. This, if done in a particular way, could be a really good thing. I'm not sure, but one of the bad things that emerges from it currently is that shareholders want profits, but then they want those profits to keep going up year over year. So you have a problem where new company comes along, creates something really great, and then you make a bunch of money, you sell people a bunch of products, and then what happens after that, right? Everyone's got the really good products, they stop buying it, they got it. So then these pressures come in, like making products that people buy over and over again. Cyclical consumption. Or, you know, maybe you're not making a product, but you've got a service, and now you need to squeeze more profit out of the service because of this whole thing about making more and more profit each and every year. So then with video games, it's like it leads to these bad incentive models where, you know, you try and make a game to make a profit, and then, you know, you made a bunch of sales and now you got this server stuff lying around running for people to play the game on, but it doesn't make money anymore, so you cut the service, and then, oh, players can't play their game. That's a big problem. It's a big problem. So I believe that, like, we the people, I'm being funny, but like, genuinely, I think you know, we talk about things, we have conversations, and then people get together and they put pressure on something like the EU through a petition. All of this sounds really good to me. And like, you know, you work with legislators, whatever, you organize, you create pressure, and you put in laws, because I think there shouldn't be total freedom. I think you have to be pragmatic and realistic and realize that if you have total freedom, a load of bad things will emerge from that. So we put in rules for the game. So we see these bad things emerge and we go, okay, anyone who makes a game has to meet these standards of, you know, preservation and accessibility. And we figure out where the middle ground is there, and we get something that's good. But they're not going to volunteer to do it, that's for sure. Varmint says, I know the shareholders want profits. They can have it. But why not make a game still available in the single player form where they could still buy it in 20 years on Steam? They got the assets already, why waste it in that sense? Well, I think if you think from their perspective, you're putting a cost onto the development of the game by providing that to people. So you can look at that in like a negative way of you're asking more of us now. But like, if that's the rules of the game, if you go to make a game, you factor that in and it becomes a part of the cost of making that, you know? You're curious as to what game it is now. There's been a bunch of games that have fallen victim to this. It's not one particular game. It's about, you know, the fact that you could buy a game today and not be able to play it years from now. Which, some of you might be like, so what? I'm of the opinion that we should try and preserve this stuff. Why? I couldn't really tell you. It just feels like preserving art and creation is a good idea. Oh, and okay, should we flip this conversation in a completely different direction now? How about that? I got something where I kind of did like a little bit of research, like an idea hit me today about an old song, and I didn't really get very far with it, and I kind of thought maybe some of you might be interested in helping if you have the know-how, because it involves a little bit of like reverse audio searching, and I could not find a lot of sites that would let you reverse audio search, but I could find plenty that are apps where it's like, install me on your phone, and I'm like, yeah, and then you just like, you know, spy on all my data. Great. Like, why are so many things free and an app? Because they want to be on your phone hoovering up some data, that's why. Yo, we got Bradad. Wait, did I say that wrong? I definitely said that wrong. Braded. No. Bradred. I don't know how to say your name. Thank you for the Prime. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thomas, 4N. Thank you for the Prime as well, peeps. If you got a Prime and you want to share the love, it'll be greatly appreciated. And you'll also get access to our Discord server to chat with like-minded people, become a part of the community, and you can play on our Minecraft server too, all with a subscription of any type. Also, nice use of glass. Thanks. I thought it'd be nice to use the glass a little bit here. The only thing we're missing from X today is gym and food talk. Yeah, we'll skip those topics for today. They're not on my mind. Bees churger. All right, let's totally flip the conversation then to music. So, right, back in the day. Oh, X, you're so old. Back in the day, I used to use Napster. Oh my God, I'm showing my age. Jeez, Napster. Who remembers that, eh? So back in the days of Napster, there was this thing that people used to do where they would... Oh, by the way, I just realized this has got to hook up to the next cell. So do I think I might have to flip the direction, because I've just mirrored, which makes no sense. Yeah, I kind of need to flip the direction of this now. Okay. It's hard to multitask. We'll get there, though. We'll get there. People used to do this thing where they would upload a song, but they would put the wrong name and stuff on it. And so I remember hearing a Sepultura song that was labeled as a Slipknot song, and a Cynic song that was labeled as Dimmu Borgir. And like, I don't know why people did this. I think it might have been a trick to like pull you into finding different bands. Or, I don't know, to pretend that some band had like a rare song. Like, it'd be like, yo, rare Slipknot song. And hey, if there's a band with like a history of like rare demos and stuff, Slipknot is amazing to explore for like what happened before they put out their first record. But like, it would literally just be the wrong song, but it would always sound similar enough to make you think. And I've had this one song that is, I do not believe it is by Cradle of Filth, but I have had it in my collection since like the year 2000 or something, and it's called Dracula Nosferatu. If you go onto YouTube, and this is your homework, if you're interested in helping me out and maybe hearing a little bit of music, it's not a long song. If you search Cradle of Filth, Dracula Nosferatu, you will find this short song. It's like 4 minutes. It is really fascinating piece of music. It's got this sort of old Doctor Who-ish techno vibe, like not techno, but like Berlin synth, Doctor Who, eerie, I don't know, 70s, 80s approach to creepy synthesizer sounds. Yet it's actually like a really immersive and interesting song that evokes like a lot of atmosphere and visual. And I've always liked that song and listened to it every now and then, and it's like so cool. But it's not Cradle of Filth. Like, why someone label it as Cradle of Filth? I never know who made this song. Then today it just hit me. I was like, I could reverse audio search that song, right? And I did today, and apparently, well, it gave me a match. It gave me a match for an artist called Tom Kibbutz or something. Let's see. Is it going to be on my phone's search memory? Let's see. Spotify is awful on my phone. It is so slow and painful that like we'll be chatting for a minute before it tells me what the last thing I searched for was. Anyway, who's with me? Tell me in chat. Are you going to help me with this research? Are you going to go look up the song, give it a listen? I want someone to help me with this. Yo! Okay. Okay, this thing sucks so much. It's finally working. And it's not showing me anything. Okay. One moment, please. Oh, for goodness sake. I added it to my like songs and it's not on there. Spotify's naff on phone. I'm sick of it. Okay. I'll bring it up on my computer, it'll be on there. I should have just done that anyway because it's like on my computer it runs instantly. Yo, it's like it's cleared my memory or something. What the heck? Huh. It's like it forgot what I was doing on the app earlier today. You know, it like shows you all your recent searches and stuff. It's just all gone. Oh, whatever. Okay. Okay. Right. So, Bear says, I got nothing better to do. Guess I can research the song. Thank you, Bear. Thank you. I appreciate that. I want help because, like, this would be cool. This would be a cool little mystery to solve if we can get to the bottom of this. Right. So I do the reverse audio on the one site that didn't ask me to install an app and actually worked. And it gave me the idea of a song by a composer called Tom Kerberis or something, right? One of those foreign names that mean my brain just can't figure it out. And I'm like, wow, okay, what's this? Let's go look it up. Yeah, look, it's got the album art, not Dracula Nosferatu. Thing is, this song came out in 2023. I definitely heard the original over 23 years ago. And when you play this song by Tom, it is the same song with quite a few differences. Not enough to say they're not the same song, just like extra bits of sound, but the whole track sounds so much cleaner. And I'm like, well, what am I listening to now then? Because because the original sounds kind of dusky and 90s production value. You know, a bit dingy and whatnot. And then this other one by Tom just literally sounds like a very well-produced new song. So, like, I think the one that I have that's labeled as Cradle of Filth was actually produced all that time ago. So it precedes this other one. Maybe the original was a demo. It could have been, and yes, bet it could have been a revamp, right? But like 23 years apart, and I couldn't find much more information on this artist. Maybe I should have gone a little harder there, because if this guy is like 20 years old, then we're like, okay, something's up. You know, do you have a time machine? But if they're like 50 or 60, then maybe it was a demo. But even still, right, I could find so little information on this artist. It was very ungratifying. I was hoping I would find like, oh, it's on this, you know, it's like a B-side on this band's record from like 1995, and there it is. Okay, and the other songs on the album sound similar. By the way, that's my like dream right here, is that we get to the bottom of where this song comes from, and then we find out there's a full album of music like it. Like that is the real reason to do the research. Because if we get like a whole album of music just like that track, that is going to be a little gold, a little bit of gold right there to unearth. A little gem in the rough. That is what it is going to be. Gem in the rough. Which will be sweet to unearth. Why do I feel like looking them up on MySpace might be a better idea? I don't know. It precedes MySpace. The original precedes MySpace, remember? So I don't know that MySpace would be the best place to go looking for it. I'm trying to like, doing two things at once is always a bit naff. You come from this way, so you're gonna come over a block and see. So actually, no, I think I've got this kind of wrong. I want to build the end of it first. Like that. That's the bit where you go out, so then this rail and that rail. That's what I feel like I should be building. So that would put I think I'll put this stuff on the outside. It'll probably just make it easier for me to build rather than having to like flip a bunch of redstone around in my head. Like, we're flipping less of it if we put it on this side. Yo, by the way, Delta Semps. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Semps. Is that right? Thank you for the Prime. Varmin T LP. Thank you so much for another Prime subscription there. Appreciate the support as always, peeps. And I hope you're enjoying the stream. You can't see the exact match, but Blue Oyster Cult had a song called Nosferatu in 1977. I don't think it would be them, but yeah. Xisuma Jones and the Raiders of the Lost album. Anyway, for those of you that want to... Wait. X, apparently it's from the album High Soul Listing. I'll take that and give it a search. 2002. You know what? My memory's foggy. I was using Napster. Maybe I got that song a little bit later. It's possible. I could have got that song a little bit later and not realized it. Okay, Mayschool, thank you. The name is pronounced Varmin TLP. Yeah, I usually say Varmint, but then for some reason my brain didn't get to the letter T in time. Why do I think of the A-Team now? I don't know. A-Team with Mr. T, right? I used to love some of the memes of that guy back in the day. I've forgotten what they are now. But I remember that they were good. Back in the days of simple memes. It kind of looks like these are all like where the iron blocks go are kind of in like the place where we got the gaps. So yeah. So yeah, that works. Mr. T, a pitted fool. That's the one. A pity the fool. Yeah, but he did like it. He turned up in a bunch of like the sort of like these influential videos where they're trying to like influence kids into better behavior. And like, I think ones where it's like about moving about and going to the gym and stuff too. And like, I remember people remix them and things. And just did all kinds of cool and fun stuff with it. Like make songs out of it and all part of that like remix culture. Thought you can find might be a bootleg album of them. Interesting. By the way, doesn't T, the first cell of the previously built segment, connect to the new one? Oh yeah, no, you're right. I just hadn't got around to that yet. But yeah, I don't want to forget that. I don't want to forget that. So I think we can probably just put the redstone wire around here because it isn't too far away. And then it'll point into that one. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, it'll reach. I think we need to go sleep in the bed again. The album cover does not have High Hell Listening on it, but Cruelty and the Beast. Oh! Well, Cruelty and the Beast is a Cradle of Filth album that came out in like 1998, I think. So if High Hell Listening is a bootleg / demo, although you did say 2002, maybe it is Cradle of Filth all along. And if it is, it also then, who the hell is that Tom guy, and why does he have like a really good recreation of it? Oh my god, I don't know. This is, I want to solve this mystery, but like the ultimate thing is there going to be like a hidden record to listen to? Like that'll be the best thing, to just discover a super cool record as a result of it. And then we'll put an age-old little brain itch of mine to sleep. Like I have these brain itches and I get them mostly for music. But like in this day and age, a lot of them have been resolved. Like some of my brain itches that I used to get was like I'd listen to hip hop records. Oh, this is all wrong. And I would like recognize the sample, but like I couldn't tell you where it was from. And then like one day, you know, I'd be listening to some random song on the telly. I used to like, my friends didn't understand me sometimes. I'd just start being like, no, oh my god, I remember that bit from that song. And they'd be like, what are you on about? And then I'd like hear a tiny bit of a song and then go to like a hip hop song and I'd be like, look, see, they sampled it. It's in there. I know it. I recognize it. So what? So what, man? But these days, right, you like, it started with being able to go online and look at like who sampled and get like a breakdown, but like it's gone even further now. Like there's sites out there that like do the snippet of the song, put it in the correct part of the song, you know, repitch it for you, all that kind of stuff. Like there's YouTubers who make amazing videos showing you how to like redo the songs from scratch because they know how all the samples fit together. And like these little brain itches back in the day used to just be like hearing a little bit of a song in another song and it'd just drive me nuts. So I'd just be like, oh my god, what is that from? Let's see. Can I re-explain what the Happy Ghast farm is? We're basically gonna queue up Happy Ghasts for other hermits to come along and take and use for their own purposes, is kind of the idea. That's kind of the idea. You remember upsetting a teacher who tried to punish me by making me a full page of specific sentences like Jim gave away an apple. Now he got 50 plus minus 1, and I would pre-write parts of it just to focus on 1 or 2 words and then the number at the end. That reminds me of the Simpsons thing, right? With Bart's writing on the board in the beginning over and over again. That used to be a common thing to make kids write. I think I remember getting a punishment of you know, writing something over and over again. That was a common thing. Right, so I think when you get to here, what you maybe want is something that like stops any more coming in, but I think we'll build this thing so that we have as many chambers for the front bit here where we store them, right? So that we can't ever overproduce them in one go, I think is the way we're going to think about it. So that's going to be the end of that. And we're not going to worry about the redstone there. You placed one of the detector rails incorrectly, the last one. They all look good. Oh my gosh, that's me listening to Will Wood albums when all the songs reference each other. References as well. Twisted B, like in hip hop, there's so much culture. And like, oh, you'd be watching a movie, and then there'd be like a sample or a moment in it. This is true of death metal as well. We used to listen to like grindcore and deathcore, and they would put in samples from movies. So you'd be watching like a horror movie, and then all of a sudden there'd be this moment it like perk your ears, and you'd be like, whoa, like I've heard that. That's from that song. God, that stuff used to drive me crazy. Like I had to put them together in my mind, otherwise I don't know. I'm just a weirdo. If you haven't figured that out yet. Oh wait, no, it still feels like there's something wrong here. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay. Yo, Selt Sam Freudlich. I've tried to say your name correctly. I probably butchered it. Yo, thank you so much for gifting subs. Very kind of you to do that. Soul Girl Ella, Freckno, Gamer, 3791, Murtai, ITV, and Alpubo. Y'all been gifted subs. Be sure to say thanks in the chat. I need to catch up on the chat quickly. Just state that the album is bootlegged. No release date mentioned. Huh. Hearing bits of a song in another song. How about the fact that in Penny Lane, Beatles part of the melody reminds you of the Mario Games song, but I've not mentioned it. That can be sometimes deliberate and then sometimes just coincidental. Like there's so much stuff in music that will be similar between songs and stuff, you know, that it can yeah, give you that. Mexico, you know the feeling all too well. Yeah. Yeah, like here's something we never do. We never be like, oh my god, this song is in 90 beats per minute like the other song. Like there's certain parts of music you just take for granted. Like, oh my god, they're playing a guitar. Like, you know what I mean? Did the stream just crash? For goodness sake, Twitch. We've gotten so far along. So far along. Are we back? Thank you, May School. We're back.
Oh.
Can we get what?
Look, everyone. It's a random hermit in the wild.
Hello, Tango. Hi.
How you doing?
Just passing by, are you, with a couple of
Just
allays?
passing by with a couple of guys, yeah, that I need to eternally burn in a fire, you know,
oh, yeah.
as one does.
That's, they added the allay, and then, yeah, they made that their fate.
That's all they're good for, is just permanently being tortured. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Do you know what this is here?
What's doing here?
Yeah, let me show you.
It's a minecart queuing system.
It is! You knew that just by looking at it. Wow, that's so cool.
The trapdoors and the angled and...
It's really good.
The gates, yeah.
I found this in the Nether.
Yeah?
It was used for ghasts, right? From Doc's farm.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do here, for the benefit of everyone, because I designed a little happy ghast breeding farm thing. So when they grow up, they'll just come and sit out the front here. In this little queue, and then a hermit can come by and just like press the notebook over here and take one.
Are you gonna make it so that when they grow up, they're gonna automatically go into a minecart?
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so
that's
if
amazing.
you got any happy ghast related ideas, especially for mini games, you can just come over here and take them, right?
You just press the button and yeah,
you got
That's amazing. So are like the skulls gonna be down like in here or something?
You mean
like
you mean the dried this thing? Bam.
Yeah, whatever you call them.
They're gonna sit somewhere back here. I'm gonna have to build like a rail system over here, And
Okay.
then there's going to be a bunch of chambers, and that chamber is going to track their growth stages, and then when they grow up, it's going to like eject them into a minecart and then send them into this. So
That sounds awesome.
yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah. You need to call it the gas station. My chat's
Oh
telling
my
me.
god, that is such a good pun.
See?
Yeah, the gas station. Dude, I could even
Come on now,
make it
yeah.
look like a little bit of a gas station here, maybe.
You absolutely should.
Oh my god. I'm writing it on a sign so I don't
Done.
forget.
Done. That's the title of your video. There it is.
Awesome. That is such a great idea.
All right,
Gas
my work here is
station.
done. I gotta deliver these guys. Good luck. I can't wait to see it done.
All right. See you, Tango.
Looking good. Bye.
Tango's doing his work. Do you have a permit for this, says Varmint? I don't need a permit. I'm a hermit without a permit. Do what I want. I do what I want. What's that from? By the way, before we crashed, I didn't fully get... Didn't fully get background saying thanks again. Selt Sam for those gifted subs. To anyone who was gifted a sub, it'll let you become a part of our community through our Minecraft server and our Discord server. So, yeah, ask in chat if you're interested. That's all you need to do. Just ask in chat. So, we kind of maybe can do the dimensions of this thing. It's not a good idea to do stuff from memory. Not a good idea to do it from memory. Oh, that doesn't work. Let's go put it there. Okay, we're all over the place, and we got Twitch crashing. We can't get through a stream without Twitch crashing, apparently. Best server ever, says Blooming. It's I feel very lucky to be a part of Hermitcraft, let me tell you that. Okay. Where did we get with all the Dracula Nosferatu stuff? The whole uncredited artist thing, I think I've looked it into the past and sort of found these dead ends, you see, but I was kind of hoping, like, you know, today's day and age, with all the new technology, like I was saying about how you can find information on songs and stuff, like, it's no longer a mystery. It's no longer like you're just watching something one day and then it's like, oh, what's that? Like, you can just look it up online. You know, like, I had a little bit of it a while ago. So I heard about this movie that influenced hip-hop music, and I forget what it was called, but it was based in the 80s. They made the movie in the 80s, and it was about graffiti and hip-hop culture, and it's such a cool little window into the past. But the guy's sitting around in this room and he's saying, you could be out here, you should be getting a medal for doing this SHIT. And as soon as I heard it, it's like my ears perked up, because it's a sample on Nuz's Illmatic, and that is a like classic record that I have listened to hundreds and hundreds of times. And so, like, I'm watching this movie and it's like, oh, and now I know where that bit comes from, right? Love those little moments. Are the crashes caused by the same issue you had a few months ago, or is it something new this time? The crashing is just Twitch at the moment, isn't it? Like, the past 5 or 6 streams I've done, we've had several crashes, and we just got one today. It's starting to get really frustrating because it hurts your viewership and stuff. Like, I said it last time, I'm not like big on numbers, but what I don't like is the fact that people just get pushed away because a little hiccup happened, you know? Do you know about the most mysterious song on the internet? I feel like it would interest you. I think I've heard about that. The thing is, like, people make content in reverse these days, which means you think, like, what video title / name thumbnail would get people interested, and then you work in reverse. And I've seen content that sounds like that, where someone you know they started in reverse. If someone goes into your territory and they do something about music or an area of music you know a lot about, you kind of catch these things. It sounds like one of those videos where, oh, most mysterious song on the internet, let's go. And you can just immediately get this feeling of like someone's worked in reverse here. oh, if I can make that video, now let's go find a song and put a story around it or whatever. Like, people do that stuff and I'm getting sick of it. I'm getting sick of the content from the platforms that I operate on. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? Yo, Tango said that I got a video title here. I was not planning on making a video out of this, but I might end up doing something. I don't know. I've not really had like the video mindset on lately. I've been just trying to take a break from all of this and do lots of other stuff. I've been taking care of some IRL stuff that needs doing, and yeah, I wasn't planning on making a video, but it kind of feels like, yeah, it's probably a video here. This is like some really cool, fun stuff. This thing is 6 wide. I think we can just tile it, right? And it's good to tile it. You don't have to put it exactly together. I might just leave a block in between. But let's do some measuring, I think. So we're going to want it to be 6 blocks wide with this bit here. Yeah, I'll take a screenshot. That'll help me figure out this next bit, I reckon. Right, I'm going to sit down again because I feel like it. All right, is that okay? Any videos that say they have the best blank ever are almost always clickbait, says Frittis Boy. Yep. Do y'all know what I mean though? Like, I waffle so much, I feel like I don't let y'all in the conversation enough. Have you seen it yourself? Like, there's so much incentive to make content that's interesting that it feels less like find the interesting thing and tell its story, and it feels like more like find a thing and make it more interesting than it is. That's how I feel. But do we know who the best band in the world is? Yes, we do. They are from Norway. You know this. On Bandcamp, it says that Dracula Nosferatu by Tom Kaibzak. You got it. And Ray Destrek. Dude, when I was looking for it earlier, it credited another musician, and it was not Ray. Tom Kaibix plays jazz flugelhorn, and Ray plays saxophone. Maybe those instruments on the song. They're not, though. There might be, like, a keyboard horn sound in there somewhere, but no, it's all synthy, old, like, Korg and Casio keyboard sounds. It's Soulside Eclipse! Oh, I thought you meant the other one. I know what you're doing there, Heart Gamer. That's very kind of you. You're too kind. I thought you were saying I made the Dracula Nosferatu song. Right, so like 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Like that. You're back. Welcome back. Where did you go? What did you see? So like, we wouldn't build it that close because we need to maneuver the rail, but we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So like 12? I reckon what we'll do is we'll go out that way, across, and back in again. You saw freeze frames. Oh, is the stream stuttering? Let me check. Oh, we got big issues. Yeah, getting error messages. Why can't we get through a stream without issues, eh? Back. Thank you, May School. Appreciate it. Yeah, if we're gonna get these disconnects and stuff, I'm not feeling it. I get really annoyed by the disconnect stuff. Like, just your stream just drops. Great, thanks Twitch. So that's like 4 of them. So like 2 more, and then come back around again. The only thing I will say is, like, I built this kind of with this landscape in mind. Actually, if I tuck them, I was thinking like go over there and come back here, like that, in line with this. But actually, I can probably tuck it in a little bit closer And then we won't be ripping out lots of this land. I think I can make it work. I think I can make this all work. Alright, anyway. So, I will look into this song by Tom. I don't know. I will follow up on some of the clues. But if any of you want to do some of your own research, maybe next stream we'll talk about it again. And maybe I'll have learned the mystery behind this song. But dude, it's been like a little mystery in my mind for so long, and when I was just looking it up today, it kind of just occurred to me like, oh, let's just talk about this on stream. Let's get the word out there. There's this weird, creepy, cool song, and like, who the heck made it? And is there more of it? I don't. By the way, I don't buy that Cradle of Filth made that song. Like, Cradle of Filth did a lot of amazing gothic compositions with the strings and the keyboards, and it doesn't quite sound like that. It doesn't sound like their vibe, you know? I feel like, they could make equally amazing, beautiful music, whatever, like, but it wouldn't be that vibe. It feels like there's someone else behind this, you know? Get chat to do your research for you, says Direwat. That's kind of what I was trying to do here. It's kind of what I was trying to do. I think Tango's probably streaming, right? So I'll send those of you that are still watching. You were getting Kitty Immortal when you were looking it up as well. I saw that as well, Heart Game. It's like, why Kitty Immortal comes up when you search for this? I don't know. But that's just how it goes, right? What's this end screen, by the way? Oh, yeah, so some of you were gifted subs, right? I forgot that I made this. If you got gifted a sub today and you're still there, you can come join this amazing server. And if you subscribed or you got Amazon Prime, you can come join this amazing server. And some of you out there are like, I've heard you say it a million times, X, shut up. Let's find Tango on Twitch for a raid. While y'all stare at these amazing screenshots. Oh, you know what? Skiz just got started. Let's go raise Skiz. He literally just got started. That's a great way to start a stream, is with a raid, right? I think he's literally not even started yet, so that makes it more fun for us. All right, thank you, everyone. Appreciate your sticking around. I'll be back again, hopefully tomorrow, but it's a bit touch and go. I'll see what we do. Might be on a different server tomorrow. We'll see. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. And enjoy the raid. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.